Level 1. The offer. The envelope has no return address. It arrives on a Tuesday. Inside is a single card with a phone number and 4 words. You've been selected. Call. You've just finished your 3rd year as a defense intelligence analyst. Your performance reviews say things like exceptional pattern recognition and operates well under ambiguity. You thought that meant a promotion to a better desk. It didn't mean that. You make the call. A man with no accent tells you to be at a parking garage in Roslyn, Virginia at 6 a.m. No phone, no notes. Tell no one. In the garage, a woman in a gray coat walks you to a black SUV. She slides a folder across the seat. Photos, names, coordinates. The kind of material that doesn't have a classification stamp because it doesn't officially exist. What is this, you ask? Your interview, she says. Somewhere in the 3rd page, you realize the government you thought you worked for is operating a completely separate layer underneath itself. 3 weeks later, you're in a facility outside Bethesda that doesn't appear on any federal building registry. 7 days of psychological screening. The same questions, 40 different ways. They're not checking if you're capable. They're checking how far your conscience bends before it breaks. Yours bends far enough. You're in. Level 2, the ghost layer. They call it the gray floor. No official title, no business cards. Your name is removed from the standard CIA personnel database. If someone at Langley runs your employee ID, they get a 404 error. Your job? You are a collector. You sit in a room with no windows and build profiles on targets across 14 countries. You find the thread that connects a shipping company in Rotterdam to a senator's chief of staff to a weapons cache in the Fergana Valley. The first rule: information flows up, not down. You feed the machine. The machine doesn't feed you back. Outside, you have a cover identity, a defense consulting firm in Tyson's Corner, a LinkedIn profile. You've gotten very good at talking for 20 minutes without saying anything. Your girlfriend asks why you seem far away. You tell her it's work stress. That's not a lie, it's just incomplete. The shift is subtle. You start seeing the world in networks. Every conversation is a collection point. Every relationship is a variable. You catch yourself running threat assessments on strangers at restaurants. You're not anxious about it. That's what should concern you. Level 3. First blood. The briefing room has 8 people. You recognize 2 of them. A target has been identified, a financial facilitator for a Gulf state procurement network. He lives in Geneva. He has a wife, 2 kids in international school. Your role, technical support. You design the digital intrusion package. You're not in Geneva. You're in a room in Virginia watching a live feed from a camera in his office ceiling. The operation goes clean. He's compromised. He becomes an asset. He doesn't know you exist. But you watched him for 6 weeks. You know he takes his daughter to football practice every Saturday. You know he calls his mother in Tunis every Sunday night. He's not a monster. He's a businessman who made connections he can't unmake.
You file your final report. You don't include those details. After the debrief, a senior officer pulls you aside. Good work. How do you feel? Fine, you say. The man in Geneva becomes a node, a problem solved, a file that closed. Your brain is learning to compress human beings into operational abstractions. It's more efficient that way. You don't question the efficiency. Level 4. Operator. You're 31 years old and you run your first asset network. 3 sources across 2 countries, a ministry official in Warsaw, a port supervisor in Djibouti, a parliamentary aide in Ankara. None of them know about the others. You travel under a Belgian passport. You meet sources in coffee shops, hotel bars, and once, memorably, on the back of a ferry crossing the Bosphorus. You've committed acts on foreign soil that would be disavowed by the United States government within 48 hours. Disavowal is not a threat, it's a protocol. You've accepted this. Power at this level isn't about information anymore. It's about leverage. The Warsaw official cooperates because you know about the money he moved in 2019. The Ankara aide cooperates because her visa situation is complicated, and you're the one who uncomplicated it. People don't work for ideology at this level. They work for their own survival, dressed up in whatever language lets them sleep. You know this because you do the same thing. Level 5. The black budget. Nobody hands you a number. You figure it out from the deposits. A discretionary operations account in your designation holds $2.3 million at any given time, audited by a congressional subcommittee, 4 members, 4 meetings a year, a room with no recording devices. You are funding operations now, designing them and funding them. An operation in Southeast Asia goes wrong, an asset is burned, 2 others compromised before you pulled the thread. People died, not your people, but people. You write the after-action report yourself. Asset integrity failure, network exposure event. You don't write, a man named Sofan, who had a noodle shop in Chiang Mai and was trying to buy safety for his family, was executed in a river 3 days after the operation was leaked. You don't write that because it doesn't change the operational lesson. That night, in a hotel room in Singapore, you sit on the edge of the bed, not crying, not drinking, just sitting. Then you open your laptop and start the next brief.
Level 6. Architecture. You are no longer a person who does things. You are a person who decides what gets done. Your program has a designation that appears in no registry. You brief a deputy director once a quarter. He asks questions. You answer the ones you choose to answer. He's smart enough to know there are things he doesn't want in writing. At this level, the corruption isn't dramatic. It doesn't feel like corruption. It feels like necessity management. You've authorized surveillance on 3 US citizens. The legal framework is thin. The justification is real. You authorized it anyway. You don't think of this as wrong. You think of it as architecture. People who are alive right now are alive because of decisions made in this program. That's documented. But the people who are dead because of decisions made in this program, they're documented too, in a different file, one you don't reread. Level 7. The unreachable. You haven't used your real name in a professional context in 4 years, not because it's forbidden, because it's irrelevant. What exists now is a function, a position inside a system so classified that fewer than 30 people in the US government understand its scope, maybe 12 accurately. No social media, no public footprint. Former colleagues think you left the game. You have one person in your life who knows enough about who you are to constitute something like a real relationship. She knew you before level 3. She's made her own calculations about what this costs her. She stays. You don't ask why. An operation you designed 3 years ago has shaped 2 National Security Council decisions, prevented a near conflict in the Eastern Mediterranean, and neutralized a proliferation network active for a decade. No one will ever know this. No one can ever know this. But there's a thing you haven't made peace with. The growing sense that the system you fed for 2 decades has its own metabolism now. You're no longer sure you're directing it. You're not sure anyone is. Level 8. The keystone. There is no ceremony, no promotion, no brief, no new title. You realize you've reached the final level by noticing the people above you have stopped telling you what to do, not because they trust you completely, because they no longer understand what you do completely. You are 61 years old, 31 years in, 3 active programs across 9 countries. 1 influences the intelligence posture of a G7 government without that government's knowledge. 1 is so deeply embedded that dismantling it safely would take 4 years. 1 you designed to be permanent. The power at this level is not exciting. It is very quiet. It feels like responsibility with no exit.
It feels like knowing too much to pretend. It feels like being the only person in a room where the room is the size of a geopolitical region and the walls are made of secrets and you built them and they will outlast you. You don't regret it. That might be the most disturbing thing. You think sometimes about the man in Geneva, his daughter going to football practice, his Sunday night calls to Tunis. You think about the noodle shop in Chiang Mai, about the thin legal framework, about the elections you shaped, and then you close that file. Because the work doesn't stop, because the system doesn't stop,